Hey, mamas, good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry, my hair is still wet. I have to take another shower because I went for a walk this morning. I'm out a little bit early today, but I am taking Eric out for lunch and to get his dad something for his birthday. Jeff's birthday is on Thursday. So we're gonna do a little mommy and Eric date today. So today I want to talk a little bit about why most people fail at budgeting and diets. And it's funny because you're like, well, those are two completely different things. How is that possible? But there's actually a lot of similarity between the two in why people fail at them. It's interesting because I think a lot of people believe that they can earn their way out of their money issues. And that is only possible if you deal with the mindset issues that you have around money. Okay. And it's the same thing with dieting, right? Lots of us do very well, and me included, when you're told exactly what to do, how to do it, how much to eat. Good morning, Keith. And the same thing with budgeting, right? A lot of you, I'm sure, have done some budgeting program before where you have put everything on a sheet of paper, before the month begins. And then somewhere something happens during the month, right? Or maybe it's a couple months down the road and you fall off the wagon. And a lot of that is because we don't deal with the internal feelings and thoughts that we have surrounding money. Most people, when they get stressed or when things are good, right? It's funny because it's like both ends of the spectrum. So when we feel really crappy, we spend money or we eat. When we feel really good and something awesome happens, we spend money or we eat, right? And so we have this really interesting relationship with money and with food. Now I'm a money person, right? I'm not a dieting expert at all, but there's a lot of psychology behind it. And until we're willing to deal with that psychology, it's really hard to make progress. I have worked with people who have made $1 million a year and who have been broke. And I've worked with people who made $40,000 a year and had $1 million in savings at the end of their life. And so it's really about the mindset and the relationship that you have with money. When I did my post on the child tax credit a couple days ago, I did not realize how many people would get triggered by that post. Now think about, I'm talking about a tax credit, right? And I've heard from so many moms that it started bringing up, their thoughts and feelings about their divorce or about their separation or about relationships with family members, all around a tax credit. It brought up feelings for people. Well, I can't manage this money. And so I don't want to get it. Like, I just want to get it all at one time. And so we saw all of these emotions come up in people over a tax credit. And so money is a very emotional thing. And we often turn to spending as a way to comfort ourselves, as a way to make ourselves feel better, as a way to, tell our children that we love them because we feel that there's not something right in us. And so one thing that I'd like you to look at, and I'm going to try to put a worksheet together for this if you're in the challenge, but you can just do it on a piece of paper. When you feel the urge to spend, right? And I know for some of you, like, and this has happened to me before. I remember we were like hardcore budgeting and we would just get tired, right? Because things were so tight, and I hadn't dealt with my stuff at that point. I'm still dealing with my stuff. But we would just get to the point where like, we have to go buy something. We have to go buy. And like, we would go crazy. So once we went on a cruise, and we always, you know, when we go on vacation, we typically plan very last minute. So like once we're like, oh, there's a cruise in 2 weeks, let's go on a cruise. Once we bought a whole bunch of furniture. Once we bought a car. I was literally like, you know, I remember we paid off a whole bunch of debt and we've been like so good. And we're like, we deserve a car. And I came home with a car payment. I'm like really? And then we had to clean up that mess. And so I will tell you that I know this from experience because I've done it. Okay, I've done this. I would love for you when you get that urge, like, and you could have this with food, you could have this with money, and you could do this with either one. But when you get that urge, like, I have to go spend money or I have to eat something, what I'd love for you to do is just pull out a piece of paper and just write down the feelings. Write down what's going on in your head at that moment that is making you want to do something that you know will not help you get to your goals, that you know is going to put you further behind. And so it's all I want you to think about today. The next time you get that urge, right? And maybe, and it was interesting because Jeff and I were talking about this morning. We were talking about the differences between money mentality with men and women. Men typically buy higher end items, right? More expensive items when they go through this. They buy cars, they buy expensive clothes, they buy, you know, electronics. Women tend to like go binge shop at the grocery store or binge shop at the dollar store, right? Or binge shop that little entry aisle. I don't know what they call it at Target. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. And it's like, we're killing our budget $1 at a time. Right. And so we might spend, you know, $100 on home goods. We might spend, you know, $300 at Costco, but it's for our family, right? So it's okay. Right. If this is resonating with you, can you just like the post? Let me know if I'm on the right track. Because I think that this is something that, this is something you guys tell me behind the scenes. And I think it's something that we really have to deal with. So again, next time, you know, that's why I always keep, you know, and this might have been one of my spurred purchases. I got this I got this on clearance at Barnes and Noble, and I just carry this around in my purse and I write down ideas, thoughts when I get in one of those spaces. But you can do, you know, I mean, you could do a sticky note, you could do, you know, a little notepad. How many of us? We have like 8,000. One of my things is I buy office supplies, and I need to start like clearing some of those out. But even just something like this is fine, right? You can write it on the back of a, you know, write it on the back of a credit card bill, whatever you got, okay? But I want you, when you get that urge, like, I have to, I'm just gonna browse Amazon, right? How many of you have ever done that, right? You know, sometimes I will, and I'll catch myself, like I'll be on Facebook and I'll get like a disturbing piece of news, or I'll be reading my email, you know, or I'll get a text message, you know, something happened to somebody. And like my instant thing is, I'm going to go to Amazon. and I notice I'm like browsing Amazon, or I'm browsing, my email looking for a sale, because somehow that's better. So next time this happens to you, next time you catch yourself, next time you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Home Goods. And you don't have to stop yourself from going. I just want you to take a couple minutes and write down what's going on with you, right? What is going on with you mentally at that moment? And let me know if that helps. Okay, you can always contact me behind the scenes. You can message the page and just let me know if that's helpful for you. But we cannot make serious progress with our money. And I know, like, that's a big, like, there were so many of you that are in the challenge that had like these aha moments yesterday. And a lot of them had to do with the difference in assets between men and women. So one of the things I shared in yesterday's training was, for every dollar in assets that a man owns, a woman only owns 32 cents. And a woman of color only owns 1 cent in assets. And that is something that we need to change in this country. But we cannot change this until we start dealing with the emotions that we have behind money. And so we're going to talk more about that this week in the challenge. If you're not signed up for the challenge, or you know someone that can benefit from the challenge, please let them know, okay? Because I think that we have an opportunity here to help a lot of people on their journey. All right, so I will see you all. I'll see a whole bunch of you tonight on our live call, 7:30 Eastern time. Don't worry if you can't make it live in the Facebook group. There is a recording that you can go watch. And if you want to go back and watch last night's, you can as well. All right, mamas, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.